CBD effectively treats dental pain and could provide a useful alternative to opioids, a new study shows. The cannabis component CBD can alleviate acute dental pain and may provide an equally effective, far safer alternative to opioids, researchers at Rutgers and the University of Texas say in a new published research. Our results indicate that a single dose of CBD is as potent as current, see, I always struggle with this word, analgesic regimens and can manage emergency dental pain effectively. Interesting. The authors wrote in a study published this month in the Journal of Dental Research. They said their work appears to be the first randomized clinical trial testing CBD for managing emergency dental pain. This is awesome. We need these studies and more researches like this so people don't feel so scared to try these things. This novel study can catalyze the use of CBD as an alternative analgesic to opioids for acute inflammatory pain conditions, the team said, which could ultimately help to address the opioid epidemic. So what they're saying is, this is the landmark study that people, like I just said, we've been waiting for. That it's official, it's peer-reviewed by multiple universities, they accept it as truth, it's science. Trust science, right? While over-the-counter medications like acetaminophen, ibuprofen, or naproxen, whatever, are the go-to choices for emergency dental pain relief, the study says some patients can't take those medications while others don't experience sufficient relief from them. A quick aside, I want to mention ibuprofen was technically and literally the beginning of the opioid crisis and the opioid epidemic. We don't think of it that way because it's so commonplace. What do you do when you wake up and hungover? Oh, you take 2 ibuprofen, you go about your day, maybe take 2 more later. So you're maybe taking 2 to 4 to 6 a day, or if you have chronic relief, you're taking them. We don't think of ibuprofen as a heavy opioid because we have all these other things. But it started at ibuprofen and it's made all its way to hydrocodone, morphine, and literal pill heroin form, fentanyl, and all of this stuff is way stronger than 200 milligrams of ibuprofen, which sometimes doesn't even do anything for us in a day, which shows how far we've progressed in the wrong direction. Dental patients who cannot receive those or acetaminophen due to underlying medical condition or allergies have no alternatives to avoid opioid prescriptions to achieve pain relief. The situation means dentists have historically been among the largest prescribers of opioids, said the study's lead author, Vanessa Treppa, a Rutgers Dental School professor and director of clinical and translational research at its Department of Endodontics. The rise in opioid-related addiction and death has everyone looking for better alternatives, things that can alleviate serious pain without hurting so many patients. While other research has so far focused more on THC, we studied CBD because previous research from other specialties suggested it might relieve dental pain without any psychoactive effects, which is really what everyone wants to find out. That is what everyone wants to find out, is how can CBD treat you and your human body without side effects? That's what we're trying. That's the answer to life, right? How can we heal without side effects? Well, I think the answer might be in cannabis and hemp compounds, but you didn't hear it from me. Researchers used the FDA-approved drug Epidiolex, an oral solution that consists of pure CBD and is used to treat certain forms of epilepsy. Study subjects, adults with moderate to severe toothache, were given a single dose of either the CBD or placebo, then monitored for 3 hours. Those receiving CBD were split into 2 groups. One receiving a high dose of CBD, which is 10 milligrams per body weight kilogram. That's interesting. So they put 10 milligrams per kilogram of your body weight. So depending on the weight of the person, depends on how much you got. So it's not a one size fits all, which is interesting. I don't know if they do that with pills. So if you're, I don't know. I don't take any opioids, none, no pills. Haven't for very many years. I very rarely take ibuprofen or Aleve. Unfortunately, I used to take like quite a few Aleves before my sports games in high school. And I just felt loopy and like Gumby, and then I could just do whatever I wanted. Do not recommend that. Do not do that. Measuring subjects' reported pain on a numerical scale over time, both CBD groups experienced significant pain reduction compared to both their baseline and placebo group. Both groups experienced maximum reduction in pain at about 180 minutes after administration, though researchers found that the higher dose of CBD led to a faster reduction in significant pain relief, 15 minutes as opposed to 30 minutes with the lower dose. That would make sense, right? The more you pump into someone's body, the quicker it acts. In terms of the degree of relief, the study found maximum median pain relief was 73% at the 180-minute mark. The study found that CBD treatment also increased subjects' bite force. So if your teeth hurt, you're not going to be biting down on it much. But if they're not hurting, you're going to use your full force. That's what that's saying. Reduced bite force, it notes, can compromise a patient's nutrition and quality of life. Interesting. Using a metric known as number needed to treat, NNT, which measures the number of patients needing treatment before one patient experiences a minimum of 50% pain relief, the higher CBD dose had an NNT of 2.4 and the NNT of the lower dose was 3.1. By comparison, the study notes past research has indicated that an opioid mixture standard in dentistry, 10 milligrams of oxycodone and 650 milligrams of acetaminophen, had an NNT value of 2.3. That is crazy. So a higher CBD dose had an NNT of 2.4 and 10 milligrams of oxycodone and about 3 ibuprofen had an NNT value of 2.3. So that, by that standard of comparison, 10 milligrams of oxycodone combined with 6 ibuprofen is about the same amount of pain relief as one high dose of CBD. Now you know why they don't want cannabis legal. Authors note the NNT for CBD treatment falls in the range of both the dentistry standard opioid treatment and treatment with ibuprofen alone. Despite the strong results indicating dental pain relief, there were also some side effects reported, with researchers noting that sedation, diarrhea, abdominal pain were significantly associated with the CBD groups. Now, we don't know if they had anything in their stomach, if they took these on full stomachs, empty stomachs, half stomachs. That's a little side asterisk that isn't addressed, just to address the stomach and pain stuff. Trepa said the study results are strong enough to make a compelling case to use pure CBD like Opioids for dental pain. A larger phase 3 trial will be the next step to get FDA approval for Opioids or other pure CBD solutions to use for dental pain management. I'm looking forward to translating this into common practice. It will tremendously help patients with acute toothache and possibly other acute inflammatory pain conditions. Opioids, which won FDA approval for treatment of certain types of epilepsy, is not currently approved for dentistry. Non-pharmaceutical CBD is nevertheless a lawful derivative of hemp, which is legalized nationally through the 2018 Farm Bill. So Opioids was the first FDA-approved drug to treat multiple forms of multiple sclerosis. I think it's synthetic, but I've also read reports saying it's not synthetic. And I looked on the website and it doesn't say whether it's synthetic, organic. It's not organic in advertisement, so I don't know what that means. I'm just telling you it's not. But that's an effective treatment used for MS that they approved years ago. There are many more things to study with follow-up research. Can CBD be used to manage post-operative pain for patients who've undergone tooth extraction or root canal? Can we get even better pain relief by combining it with other agents like Tylenol? Wouldn't recommend that, because why would you mess up a pure form of a plant medicine and mix it with a synthetic that you literally reverse engineered from the plant you're combining it with? Doesn't make any sense. Now, maybe they're talking about what's as of now, but as we go with the research, you're going to be combining CBN, which is the heaviest sedative. Imagine being able to go under, like, they put you under to go in surgeries. Imagine you go under and it's just cannabis that puts you under. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? I don't even know how that would happen. I mean, that's how I feel every night when I go to sleep after I consume cannabis. Am I right? You know what I mean? A separate study last month found that letting people buy CBD legally significantly reduced opioid prescription rates, leading to 6.6% to 8% fewer opioid prescriptions. Another example of why opioids are so prevalent in the lobby firms in DC and why they hate cannabis. That's why they hate it. It's literally right there. Why they hate it. It will put them out of business or significantly reduce their business. Same with alcohol. While hemp-derived cannabinoids, including CBD, haven't typically received the same degree of attention or political scrutiny that high THC marijuana has, the market for the products has been growing quickly in recent years since federal legalization. You'll notice all these celebrities are doing skin creams and CBD treatments and all that stuff. They're just slapping their name on it. They don't really know much about it. I could be wrong, but some people will take a payday. Some people actually really care about the importance of the plant and the wellness. Though still largely unregulated, the U.S. hemp industry in 2022 was larger than all state marijuana markets combined, according to a new report, and roughly equaled sales for craft beer nationally. The report found that about $28.4 billion worth of hemp-derived CBD products were sold last year. That is so much more than the craft beer industry nationally already, and it's not even legal yet. That's crazy. Well, CBD is legal, but not, you know what I mean. FDA has said that it doesn't have the authority to regulate hemp-derived cannabinoids on its own, and in response, congressional lawmakers have put forward proposals to establish new rules. Meanwhile, a pro-business center-left group of House Democratic lawmakers is pushing to use the next Farm Bill to reduce regulatory burdens on hemp growers by creating a distinction between industrial hemp that's grown for products like fiber and hemp for any purpose, which would cover crops cultivated to extract cannabinoids like CBD. Notice they could literally legalize cannabis through the Farm Bill, and they're not. So, I don't care what anybody says. If they can do, they can do it. They can do it. They just choose not to. A recent House subcommittee hearing specifically focused on the impact and lack of FDA rules, and a separate pair of bicameral health committees has solicited expert input on the issue as they consider potential legislative fixes. State marijuana regulators with the Cannabis Regulators Association, CANRA, we're getting really good with these abbreviations, guys. I like it. Also recently sent a letter to Congressional Agriculture Committee leaders requesting that they use the Farm Bill to adjust the federal definition of the crop and modify rules around hemp-derived cannabinoids. Now, there's been some amendments and some issues filed. They want to raise the THC limit in the Farm Bill, to 0.3 to 1 or to maybe 2 or 3%. That's fine. At the end of the day, seems like they're trying to do is fine-tune this hemp regulation market legal and get their business hands into it, these capitalistic hands into it, without legalizing cannabis. It's like you can't have it both ways. You're learning all about cannabis through the Farm Bill and how much money you can make off of it, but yet still not legalizing the plant for people to enjoy. That's a little greedy, I would say. And that might be a bigger metaphor for what's really kind of going on in our political system right now, is just people not feeding the people, just feeding themselves. And I think most people would say, listen, I don't care if you feed yourself, but just feed me a little bit too. Give me some scraps, Go ahead, make your money, but at least legalize weed so I can smoke it, right? I can't grow it at home, and I can't even smoke stuff that you grow. That doesn't sound like freedom. But what's really cool is that as time goes every day that passes, more and more people are realizing how ridiculous the war on drugs was and how much of a waste of taxpayer money and lives that it really was, and how many people it really destroyed. The war on drugs, combined with the opioid epidemic, was probably one of the single most detrimental things to American society in the last 20 years, 50 years, I'd say, since its inception, really. And that's all coming to a head in a bottleneck right now. And the quicker we do this, the quicker we do this research, the quicker we fund the research for the science, and the more we trust science, which is what everybody says, right? The better off we'll all be. So until the next article comes out with more positive science for you, stay blessed.